In the wake of the Chauvin verdict, CBS News is taking a closer look at policing in America. This year, police have killed at least 319 people in the U.S., according to a monitoring group. Between 2013 and 2020, 98% of killings by police did not result in charges against officers. Jeff Pegues spoke to Miami's police chief about reform.
What happened was a travesty, was a crime, was unjustified.
Miami's new police chief, Acevedo, says the death of George Floyd is a black eye on the law enforcement profession.
Would you say that policing has been on trial with Derek Chauvin?
Well, I think any time that something like Minneapolis and the George Floyd's death happens, policing is on trial. The entire profession is on trial, and it's a reflection on the entire profession.
According to the research collaborative Mapping Police Violence, last year, black people made up 28% of those killed by police, despite only being 13% of the U.S. population.
No justice, no peace.
Floyd's death in May sparked protests against police violence around the U.S. and around the world. Talk of reform gained momentum. The black men continued to die at the hands of police.
This is a taser. This is a taser. But no, my nephew was killed with this, a Glock.
Earlier this month, 20-year-old Dante Wright was shot dead in Minnesota by an officer who officials say meant to use her taser, not her gun. She's been charged with second-degree manslaughter. Wright was killed just around 10 miles from where Chauvin was on trial. President Biden made a campaign promise to create a commission to look at police reform. But last week, the White House said that it would not move forward, and instead, they would focus on legislation.
We have not had a true commission on policing in this country since decades ago. I think it's time for us to have a commission to take a deep dive, deep look, evidence-based approach to how will we imagine policing for the next couple of hundred years.
Are you calling for President Biden to reconsider his decision not to have another commission?
Absolutely.
Under increased criticism and scrutiny, police recruiting and retention is on the decline. Police unions and officers will often point out that they have a high-intensity job where they are sometimes tasked with making life-or-death decisions in a split second.
Where does policing in America go from here?
I think policing in America continues to evolve, continues to seek opportunities to be better, and continues to build trust. But also policing in America needs to do a better job of highlighting the many times that our police officers get it right in very tense, dynamic, dangerous situations where there is no loss of life, there is no use of force, or there's a minimal use of force, and the situation's resolved. Because for everyone that's wrong, that's horrific, that is criminal, there are tens of thousands where we get it right.
Acevedo's thoughts on these issues, they really carry weight in Washington because in addition to being the chief of police in Miami now, he is also the president of the Major City Chiefs Association. And he believes that this Chauvin verdict really shows that justice was served and that police officers who break the law are being held accountable. Tony.
Yeah, there is the question, though, of how you define the law. And with 18,000 different police agencies all across this country, you have 18,000 different potential definitions of use of force and when it's appropriate. It's good that there's a national conversation beginning so that some standards can potentially be put in place. Jeff, very eye-opening conversation. Thank you very much.